explain and demo the bound for height. The purpose of bound for height is a very good plyometric exercise which is going to help increase my rate of force development, which is RFD, and at the same time it's going to help accentuate putting force into the ground and getting up as high as I can, triple extending through my ankle, knee, and hip, as we do when we're running. So just kind of demo it nice and slow. I want to make sure I kind of get in a runner stance. And then my first step, I'm putting as much force into the ground. At the same time, I'm driving my opposite knee up and my opposite arm up as high as I can. I want to make sure I jump up as if I'm jumping up for a rebound and then landing. And then as soon as I land, I'm going to the next step. So I want to make sure I'm putting a force into the ground, and at the same time I want to make sure I don't spend a lot of time on the ground as well. Right now I'm going to explain the deadleg skip and why we want to do it. So the purpose of the deadleg skip is I want to make sure I'm putting a lot of force into the ground, and at the same time I want to have very, very high rate of stride frequency, which is making sure my leg is coming up this motion right here. That's my stride frequency. From the time I touch the ground and up until I go to my next step. So just kind of demo. My opposite leg, my working leg is going to be my piston leg is going to be my right leg. My dead leg is going to be my left leg. So the only thing I'm doing is coming right here. So my left leg, right, my dead leg is going to be more like a spring for my next step. And at the same time, I want to make sure my motor leg or my piston leg is driving force into the ground. As soon as I'm punching into the ground, I'm going into my next step. I'm going to the wall drill, and why we like to do it. The biggest thing about this is you want to make sure you're in proper position. You want to make sure that when I'm punching with my feet, I'm leading with my shin rather than my knee, and at the same time making sure my hips are pointed forward. So kind of demo it. Make sure my arms are completely straight, hands are eye level. Want to make sure that once again I'm leading with my shin, my hips are forward, I'm in there nice and tight, and as I punch down with my opposite leg, I'm leading back up, punching again with my shin almost as if I'm punching a glass. Now I'm going to discuss and talk about the squat and the purpose kind of behind it, some of the key points that we want to kind of emphasize with our athletes. So the biggest thing about this one is making sure I have proper positioning, make sure I'm addressing the bar properly. So what I like to kind of say is my ring finger is going to be on that smooth groove, right? I want to kind of look straight ahead, have a staggered stance. Make sure once I step up into it, I unrack it, 1 step, 2 step, I'm ready to squat. My toes are pointed straight ahead. My elbows are locked down. And as I'm squatting down, I want my first movement to be my hips going back. Chest is down, looking straight ahead. My knees are pointing out towards my pinky toe. And as I'm pressing up, I make sure my elbows stay locked down, looking straight ahead, and I'm pushing through the middle of my foot. All right, now I'm going to explain and discuss the power clean. The biggest thing about this one, I want to make sure I want to extend, triple extend through my knees, ankle, and hip, and I want to make sure I'm moving the bar as fast as possible. All right, so power clean, we're going to be coming from the ground. I want to make sure I'm about shoulder width apart. Toes again are pointed straight ahead. As I'm grabbing the bar, I want to make sure my knuckles are going to be down, my hips are down, my chest is up. Make sure I'm squeezing again with my shoulders are back, pulling the bar into my body, tension is in my arms, and as I'm pulling to the first pull to my knee, I want to make sure I'm nice and straight. I want to make sure everything is coming up, my back is coming up at the same time as my hips. And as I'm pulling, make sure I'm standing all the way up, getting as tall as I can, all the way up on my toes, pulling it up into my hips. And at the same time, I want to make sure once I catch that bad boy, I want to make sure I shoot my elbows as fast as possible, catch them in a high front squat position. So I demonstrated and kind of explained some of the exercises, the bounding for height, my deadleg skip, my wall drill, squat, and then also my power clean. And then a little bit later on in the video, you'll kind of see all that kind of sped up at full speed.